I never hated my father. I need people to understand that. I never hated him. There was no anger. No shouting. No broken home. Just silence. A lot of silence. Growing up, my father was always there. He lived with us. He worked every day. He paid the bills. From the outside, our family looked normal. But inside the house, something felt missing. Every morning, my father woke up before anyone else. Before sunlight. Before sound. I remember hearing the door. Quiet. Careful. He never slammed it. Never rushed. It felt like he was trying not to be noticed. By the time I opened my eyes, he was already gone. At night, he came home tired. Sometimes during dinner. Sometimes long after. Some evenings, I didn't even realize he was home until I saw his shoes by the door the next morning. Dinner was always routine. Same table. Same chairs. The television was always on. Not because we cared about the show, but because silence felt too loud. If I talked, my father listened. He nodded. He answered politely. If I stopped talking, he didn't ask me to continue. He never asked more. He never asked how I felt. As a child, I didn't understand why that hurt. I only knew it felt different. At other people's houses, other fathers laughed more, touched shoulders, asked questions. My father didn't. At the table, he always sat at the far end. Straight back. Hands together. He looked calm. Controlled. Looking back now, it feels like he was shrinking himself. Like love meant not taking space. But back then, I didn't see love. I saw distance. So I created my own. When school became difficult, I said nothing. When I struggled, I handled it alone. When I failed, I hid it. When I succeeded, I downplayed it. I learned early how to survive quietly. People noticed that. They called me mature. Independent. They said I was strong. They didn't see that loneliness trains you to stop asking for help. At night, I sometimes waited for my father to ask something real. Not, "How was your day?" But, "Are you okay?" Not, "Did you eat?" But, "What's hurting you lately?" Those questions never came. And slowly, I stopped expecting them. Silence became normal. Normal enough that I stopped noticing how heavy it was. Years passed like that. Quiet years. Years without conflict. Years without closeness. When people talked about toxic parents, I stayed quiet. I didn't have drama to share. Just distance. Distance without explanation. When I moved out, I thought things might change. Adults reconnect with parents. That's what people say. But nothing really changed. Our phone calls were short. Efficient. We talked about work. Schedules. Health. Nothing emotional. Nothing fragile. After every call, I felt strange. Heavy. Like I had said a lot of words without saying anything important. There were moments I wanted to ask him questions about his life, his fears, his regrets. But I didn't know how to start. And I was afraid of what might come out if I did. Then one evening, everything slowed down. I came home without planning to. No holiday. No announcement. The house felt different. Not empty. Exposed. Like silence had a shape. My father was sitting alone. Same posture. Same calm face. But something was different. He looked tired. Not physically. Emotionally. For the first time, I looked at him. As a human being. Not just my father. I asked him if he was okay. He smiled. He said, "I'm fine." He had said that my entire life. But this time, it sounded hollow. So I stayed. I sat down next to him. The silence returned. Minutes passed. Then he spoke. "I always thought you didn't need me anymore." That sentence broke something inside me. Because I had believed the same thing about him. I thought he didn't need me. I thought my absence made no difference. He told me he was afraid of interfering. Afraid of saying the wrong thing. Afraid of becoming a burden. He believed love meant staying strong. Providing. Enduring. Not talking. Growing up. No one had asked him how he felt either. So he learned to carry everything without words. Love, to him, was silent responsibility. Years of silence suddenly made sense. I realized we weren't distant because we didn't care. We were distant because we were both afraid. Afraid to speak. Afraid to open things we didn't know how to close. We were both waiting. Waiting for permission. Waiting for reassurance. Waiting for the other to speak first. And while we waited, years disappeared quietly. That night didn't fix everything. We didn't cry. We didn't hug. But the silence changed. Now when we sit together, it feels different. Not empty. Shared. I call him more often now. Sometimes we talk. Sometimes we don't. But I no longer walk away from the quiet. Because I understand something now. Silence doesn't always mean absence. Sometimes it means fear. Sometimes it means love with no language. And sometimes the love we thought was missing was right there, waiting for us to stop walking away.